Welcome to the mountain biking capital of the world. It's round 6 of the Enduro World Series 2019 and it's Crankworx Whistler. Yes, it's that time of year whenever the global who's who of international mountain biking descend on Whistler Bike Park for the biggest, loudest and most sensational fortnight of riding on the calendar. Yes, the Camelback Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized marks the point of the year when things start to get very, very serious. And the riders will find out if they have made the cut to represent their countries at the inaugural Trophy of Nations in Finale Ligure at the end of the year. This is perhaps the most challenging Whistler course that we have ever seen. You have to wait no longer. Let's dive straight into the action.
There's only one stage slated for Saturday, but it was the longest of the entire year. Top of the World back down to the Whistler village took in 12 separate trails, was 11 kilometres in length and dropped over 1,500 metres.
What a massive stage!
That was really f***ing hard.
It's like your whole body's just screaming, no, we're done. Your mind's just like, come on, come on, there's more left.
Every year I don't think there's anything you can do to prepare for this stage. It was sort of getting wet and definitely pretty cautious on the brakes and trying not to go into things with too much speed.
I just raced it so smart, honestly, and I'm just really proud of the way I rode because, like, I mean, it's still fully broken, like, barely hold on.
It's kind of my nemesis. This year I just went all out from the get-go because it's Crankworx. It's kind of crazy, it's busy, it's overwhelming, but it's special to be at home always.
Seal told me before, just pedal wherever you can. So I tried to listen to her. From the middle, I was like completely done.
It's been quite a late start. We started at 6, so I never started this late. The beginning is top of the world, so you get straight into it and back to business.
I thought it was all good, but I got smoked. A bit gutted, to be honest. Couldn't help but look back. I couldn't see Richie, but I could see a Yago, and I'm like, here we go, let's do this. 4 or 5 corners into the rest of the, I hear Richie coming like a freight train.
So this is kind of like my stage, so I wanted to try and capitalize on it, so I hope I put down a good time. I think there's a couple stages that can be bad when it's wet, but hopefully it stays good.
None other than Richie Rude. I'm sliding into first place. Wide off.
Top of the World has seen Richie Rude take some big wins over the years, but in 2019 he produced something extra special. He crossed the line with a 32-second winning margin. His teammate Sean Neer was second and Josh Carlson was third. Before Whistler, Isabelle Cordelier had won every Queen stage, and with rain predicted for day 2, she was taking no chances. She took the win by 15.5 seconds from Noga Karem, with the home favourite Adrienne Lanfey-Nadeau in third.
Whistler is one of only 2 omnipresents on the EWS calendar, and it's easy to understand why. With over 80 kilometres of official trail across all riding abilities, this place is the gold standard of bike parks. Now, the riders could have been forgiven for thinking that the toughest stage of the year was now behind them, but day 2 was full of tests as well, and it looked like this.
Day 2 featured no fewer than 5 stages of racing. Stage 2 was 2.25 kilometres in length and featured local favourite Jaws. Stage 3 comprised of 3 separate trails. Stage 4 was the longest of the day at just over 4 kilometres in length, while Stage 5 conversely was the shortest at just 1.1 kilometres before the sting in the tail, which was the fast and tricky plunge back to the plaza that was Stage 6.
So as we head into racing this weekend then, the positions in the overall look like this.
Isabelle Corderie remains unbeaten in 2019 and as a result has a colossal 755 point lead ahead of her closest rival Noga Carême. A win at the last round now sees Eddie Masters move into second place in the men's race behind Florian Nicolai, with the reigning champion Sam Hill in third. The team's championship is shaping up to be one of the most competitive in years and is currently being led by Canyon Factory Racing, narrowly ahead of Rocky Mountain Raceface Enduro team, with GT in third.
Had enough of numbers? Of course you have. Let's have some bike racing. Let's head back to the action at the top of stage 2.
The first stage of day 2 saw two Whistler Classics bolted together with the 2.25 kilometres of Jaws into Billy's Epic.
Actually pretty scary, to be honest. That first part is so steep, and then when you come down here where you see the people like start to get a bit slow, coming over the edge and just see it like a spider web of boots. That was a wake up call and a half. The routes are just like home, it's crazy.
Never really cry for pain, man. So I start like baby and I work like Wayne. Now let's pursue the children of the game. Yep, I'm just a kid living in a dream. What's the hate on that? I know I shouldn't interact with the 151 Bacardi rum and the Kush still craving some. It's like I'm criminal minded like KRS-One. This ain't Lupe, so it don't really matter. It's a good die young.
I struggled. I didn't do a very good job at attacking it.
I just went out of the track. I had to walk back up. It took me like such a while. I guess I lost really a lot of time, so now like, let's ride.
So I'm stuck in the moment, I'm sitting back and I'm still hoping. Lord got my eyes really open where I'm still getting to the back with chit chat. Got my hat back and I backtrack. My wilderness taught me great things. You gotta be original, drunk night, subliminal movements, be pivotal. Never really cry for pain, man. So I stuck like baby.
All the roads and the rock slabs are super slick, and then the dirt's got all the grip you could want. So I'm gonna try to keep it upright and hopefully get a good result.
On that losing streak, but I stay blessed and I stay winning. On another planet, my head is spinning. Yep.
Wasn't too wet. I think the dirt was actually pretty good. Just felt like I was being a little careful on the roots, and it definitely slid me around a bunch. It's better than yesterday. I felt like I was kind of riding like I should. Pushed, slippery, there's like snakes everywhere. Just want to take you down. But it was good fun, eh?
Stop bashing out speed, try fly to the top. I go out and forget to text my moms. Man, I just want to go to Vegas and see the palms. Right now, this is just me.
Heavy overnight rain resulted in treacherous conditions, and a crash resulted in Isabelle Corderie aggravating an old knee injury. Andriane Lamphey-Nadeau won the stage and moved herself up into second place in the process. In the men's race, Eddie Masters set about the mammoth task of reining in Richie Rude by winning the opening stage of the day. Adrian Day was second and Sam Hill was third. Stage 3 was a superb trio of trails, albeit with two savage climbs thrown into the mix. Who better to showcase them at race pace than the local boy, Jesse Melamed.
All those couple-minute intervals. That's all we're doing.
Oh, holy.
I think I might have torn some muscle in my leg, so it's been very painful, especially in the climb.
weather is so tricky. Like I always get these white fingers when it's wet, and it's so hard to feel the brakes. I was digging deep in the climb.
I'm really glad that one's over. I don't like to go to a place like that. That was dark.
Richie Rude bolstered his lead of the race with a win on 3. His lead was now out to nearly a minute. Innes Toma powered home to a stage win, but that injury was still clearly hindering Iswo Corderie, whilst Noga Karem and Andrian Lamfey-Nadeau were busy making inroads into her lead. The gap was now down to just 2 seconds. The fourth stage was the longest of the day at just over 4 kilometres long and featured a mix of extremely technical and bike park trails.
Real slick in there, and the vision was pretty bad. A lot of fog, a lot of moisture, goggles fogged up again. So fun, it's like riding the slop kind of, and for once I kind of enjoyed it. So I think in the back of my head I know I have some time, but yeah, I was trying to ride smart and quick.
Having a real good stage here.
Getting pretty muddy through there, so quite enjoyed it.
Sam Hill won his first stage of the race on 4. Richie Rude followed him home by 1.7 seconds, though, to maintain a more than healthy margin at the front of the race. Noga Karem seemed to exude an aura of calm amongst the carnage of the wet conditions and took the stage win to boost herself up into second place in the overall as a result. The penultimate stage of the race was a slower speed technical test and was just over 1 kilometre long.
It was comedy. Oh man. It was really hard. I don't have a good feeling with the ground.
Really getting into it now, the day's coming to an end. But no, the conditions are insane.
That was really good in a weird way. It was probably the most Irish track you'll get in Whistler. Like, didn't really have flow, but somehow you could find flow and you're just kind of pinging around the place.
Yeah, it's a hard day. I actually enjoyed, but it's really unpredictable, suddenly routes, and yeah, not what we had in training.
Focus on having some like smooth, nice line, and I hope I will just keep a good pace doing this.
Really tough stage, but kind of enjoyed it. So just yeah, took a lot of skills to get through it.
I did a lot of mistakes, but I think it's the same for everyone.
Iswo Corderie fought back on stage 5 and took the stage win by 7 seconds from Noga Karem to edge her overall lead back out to just over 20 seconds. Adrian Day narrowly won the stage ahead of Sam Hill with Vid Persac in third. Richie Rude's lead had still yet to dip below the 50-second mark, but there was one stage yet to run, and as ever in Whistler, anything could still happen. The final stage was the potentially pivotal stage 6. 9 consecutive trails, back to back, all leading back down to Whistler Village and the race's conclusion.
16th place. And you are right now sitting in first place. And North Korea goes fastest. Woo!
Oh, and we've got Isabel.
And she goes fastest. She goes fastest. 61 to 59.
A serious challenger, the man with the number one. It's out in the second spot right now, 53.36.
Behind him, Richie Rude, what's it gonna be? First place. Look at that time, that is unbelievable. The fastest riders on the planet.
Richie Rude had clearly decided that attack was the best form of defence and cemented a towering win in the world's most famous bike park by 55 seconds ahead of Sam Hill, with Eddie Masters rounding things off in third. Remy Govan was the highest ranked Canadian in fifth, and Josh Carlson had a great weekend in a venue he loves to finish sixth. The series leader Florian Nicolai would cross the line in ninth. Adrian Lamfianado won the final stage in front of a jubilant home crowd, securing third place in the process. Isabelle Corderia crossed the line in no small amount of pain to take her sixth win of the season, with Noga Karem in second.
Adrian, your home round and a fantastic weekend of racing from yourself. Did you enjoy it?
It's always different, but I think it's because it's Grankworks. And the Top of the World stage has split me in half for 4 years, so this is the fifth. I'm happy I finally managed to do a good time, so it set a good tone for my weekend.
It looked like a war out there at times.
Oh, it was. Man, on that last stage, I was like, holy, I knew I had 10 seconds on Adrian to play with, and then I had two pretty big crashes, and I was just like, oh, YOLO, and just went for it, and I got so wild, so it makes it feel pretty damn good to make it to the finish line and get third.
Noga, you just looked like you were relaxed the whole day there. Was that the case?
I was not really relaxed. I was always a little bit stressed because the stage was a bit scary, I would say. Try to chill, to breathe a little bit because I was working really, really hard on the stages.
Sam, second place today. Happy with how you've ridden this weekend?
Yeah, pretty happy. Every stage I felt pretty solid. Probably could have charged on and had a bit more fire in the belly, but yeah, it just wasn't there today.
Some big ground gain on Florian though in the overall. Do you think you can still take a title?
It's never doubt in my mind. So yeah, just keep plugging away and trying to stay consistent at the top.
Do you think you're going to be okay for North Star?
I think it'll be fine. I just hit my leg really, really hard, and it's places where I already hurt my legs in the past, so that's definitely very painful. But it's mostly swollen from big bruises, and I think it'll be fun.
How tough was today managing that pressure?
Yeah, my big goal was to kind of crush the first stage, and with the rain overnight, I was definitely pretty happy to have it. I knew all the boys are riding quick, and if I had too many mistakes, the time gap would come down, but I was super happy how I rode and just got through the mud. And yeah, it's hard not to attack because that's when I feel like you do something stupid or end up losing much of time.
So after a typically hectic Whistler round, the championship standings now look like this. Florian Nicolai retains his points lead, but both Eddie Masters and Sam Hill each made inroads into it. Isabelle Corderia remains bulletproof in 2019 and keeps her unblemished scorecard rolling. Noga Karem is looking comfortable in second, whilst Adrian Lamfianado is still honing in on Morgan Schar's third place.
Rocky Mountain Race Face Enduro.
In the team's championship, Canyon Factory Racing ended the weekend still in control of the points race, with Rocky Mountain Race Face Enduro team in second and Chain Reaction Cycles Mavic in third.
So there we have it then, the Camelback Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized is done and dusted, and Isabelle Corderia's winning streak continues, but she has picked up that injury. Will that affect her in North Star? We'll have to wait to find out. In the men's race, Richie Rude led from the start and didn't look back. He managed that time gap superbly, and Eddie Masters and Sam Hill are still locked together in terms of the overall. Join us next time when we head to the USA. North Star is waiting. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching.